Dr. Steve, regarding the parallel economy, do you think that local currencies will also play a role alongside cryptocurrencies, like the gold back that's being used in Utah, Nevada, New Hampshire, and Wyoming?
That's a great question. I do. I think it will. Because again, a currency is its value is technically performative. I would push this even with gold or water or oil, you name it. Meaning that we ascribe value to it. So your $20 bill, you guys all know this, I know, but your $20 bill and your $1 bill, if you look at it under a microscope, there is no discernible difference between the two bills. They're both the same pieces of paper. The reason why we ascribe more worth to one over the other is because of the formal properties it's granted by a legitimate authority. All right, in this case, the United States government. So the United States government honors the one with the 2 and the 0 as a $20 value, and it honors the one with the 1 as a $1 value. And then we accept that. We accept that as what's called deontic. It has an ethical value above our own personal private sentiments. And so that's one of the ways you keep social order together. And I'm doing a series just for you guys in the behind the scenes on the ritual religious underpinnings, the foundations of civilization. And all of this actually comes from that. And that's why gold and silver and platinum and so forth and diamonds and jewels tend to be so valuable, is because ultimately they were used in the earliest rituals, and they were seen as the stones of the gods in effect. But again, you have to recognize that, and you have to impute value to that. And so, yes, I think so. Crypto redefined money for us. Crypto redefined money in ways that people like, I don't know, Warren Buffett and so forth are still trying to catch up with. Those guys, they never will. I don't think Warren Buffett played by the old rules, and he played better than anybody else, right? He was the Magic Johnson. He was the Roger Federer of the old economic rules. He knew how to play them. But a new game is emerging, a new, and using literally game theory, a new economic world is rising, and it's becoming radically decentralized. I mean, that's what the on-chain technology is all about. It's all about pure ownership. Right. Right now, we don't own the internet. Right now, we rent the internet. Right. So I don't own my YouTube channel. So right now, I'm basically in China's. I'm in a Chinese sphere. Right. So if we were all living in China, we'd be making tons of money together with businesses and living in homes that we don't actually own. The CCP owns it all, and they basically rent it out to us. They don't charge us anything. They let us use it. But they can always take it anytime they want, right? Well, that's Facebook, that's Twitter, that's YouTube. We don't own it. We could do all kinds of things there, but if they want to, right, they could clamp down. That's the fear. Internet 3.0, right? V3 is going to be a blockchain technology where we own our own little section of the internet. We actually own it. That's how it operates by those rules. So it gets radically decentralized from any kind of corporate center. So absolutely, local currencies, I think, play into that logic in an economy that's becoming radically decentralized. Now, of course, it's happening at the same time. The powers that be are doing everything they can to centralize it, right? Now, we're even seeing it with the banks. Strange how some of these smaller banks are ready to fall. That's what they're saying, right? It's the smaller banks that looks like they're going to start getting consolidated by the big giants. Centralization, digital currencies, all that sort of stuff. It's all about centralization. But that's the old world, and they're doing everything they can to try to hold on to it and consolidate their power. So I think it's going to happen at the exact same time. These are going to be current co-dynamic with each other. You're going to get a lot of globalism, so global centralization with a lot of localized decentralization going on. So it's going to be really weird and contradictory. But in the end, as Thomas Kuhn, the author of and founder of paradigm shift theory, always argued, the old paradigm always loses, because the old paradigm is ravaged by a crisis of legitimacy. It has too many anomalies within it that just don't make sense. And so organically, people just naturally look for a new paradigm that finally makes sense, so they can resolve those, what they called anomalies or contradictions. The two paradigms exist for a time. They coexist and they clash because they're what Thomas Kuhn called incommensurate. They one makes sense of all the contradictions in the other one that can't make sense of them, and they clash sometimes. The old one just holds on to its power for as long as it can, but eventually the old paradigm fades away, even if it just requires the old people that hold to it just to die off. And that's Thomas Kuhn talks about that. It eventually fades away because it never overcomes the crisis of legitimacy caused by all the anomalies in there. And this centralization, as we're seeing, has the radical anomaly of people recognizing that means that the government can cancel them at any time. And the fear of cancelization is more prevalent now than ever. And it's only going to get worse. And that fear leads them into a blockchain, decentralized economy that's emerging all over the world, interestingly. Maybe not so much China and so forth, but certainly in India, that's for sure, Russia and the like. South America, Argentina is one of the biggest blockchain biggest cryptocurrency cultures out there. People just find it. And of course, El Salvador with Bukele, as he's just doing an amazing job there. They're going to more and more merge into the ownership economy, online economy, crypto economy, gold, silver, localized currencies. And eventually the paradigm shift gets complete and that takes over. So I'm with you 1,000%. I think that's exactly where it's going to go. But first, gang, are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Do you want to learn the secret to paying off your home in just 5 to 7 years on your current income? What if we told you that we're about to expose the banking secrets the wealthy take advantage of each and every single day? Does this pique your interest? Well, so then you need to watch this video with Michael Lush, founder and CEO of Replace Your University. He's about to reveal the bulletproof financial blueprint that will change your life forever. But beware, this is not your typical financial advice. It's a daring, unconventional approach that challenges everything you thought you knew about money. You ready to take the leap and embrace the unknown? Click on that link below to join the revolution and discover the truth that will set you free. But be warned, once you see the light, there's no going back.
Now, you somewhat answered this next question in your answer to this question about cryptocurrency. But Bud is wondering if you see the globalists panic and make a totalitarian overreach to try to keep their gains.
Yeah, it's called Ukraine. What they're doing, or Taiwan, or whatever. Yeah. No, they're. Yeah. It's so interesting because I'm really heartened. It's really exciting to see how many people are starting to recognize that the globalist emperor has no clothes. They're really openly starting to say, Biden's falling apart. He's corrupt to the core. They're weaponizing the legal system. They're clamping down on free speech. I mean, you're seeing center leftists like Bill Maher just absolutely crushing wokeness every week on his show. A great conversation between Bill Maher and Elon Musk, right? Last week. That was an excellent conversation. Those are the kind of conversations that are winning. And they really just don't, they're going, it's really interesting. It's like they don't even acknowledge that Biden and the woke morons actually exist. They're actually going and they're building civilization, right? We don't just boycott, we build. We don't just boycott, we build. We've got to always be building. So that's why you guys are, we call you courageous patriots, because you're builders. You are, like we talked about, I think last week, for some who are older, you're the frontiersman. You may not see, it's like Moses. You may not see, or we may not see the new world that's rising in all of its conservative fullness, traditionalist fullness, but we sure are building the foundation for it just by living out our lives faithfully and thinking about currencies and thinking economy and move out to red states. I know a lot of you have done that. God bless you guys. You've been refugees. I'm one of you. I've got to wait for one of mine to graduate, and I think we're going to join you in the refugee red state migration. You've changed jobs. You started your own businesses. You're changing the way you invest. We all did. I mean, I did that too. I lived that out. Remember, I was in academia for 20 years. It was really scary for me to go full time as a broadcaster, because I never imagined myself that way. But I knew this is part of the new economy that's rising, and that's what I want to be. That's what I want to be a part of. So yeah, they're going to do everything they can to try to hold on to power. You could be sure of that. But I just don't know what they're, with so many people calling them out for the obvious panicked gestures they're making to try to hold on to power, it's going to be very difficult for them to do it plausibly. Again, you look at what's going on with Trudeau and how I think in the end, in many respects, the freedom convoys weakened him dramatically, because again, over and over again, you're hearing, even in the libertarian sphere, the crypto sphere, and so forth, the fear of social cancellation. Yeah, I could say that. Put an ization there. Social cancellation, the fear of the social credit system, the centralization of power, the digitization of power, and then the ability for the government to use that for tyrannical ends, to shove its increasingly distrusted view down our throat. Yeah, they're going to do that. But the more they do it, the more obvious it becomes that they're at the end of the rope. So it seems like it has. So yes, it'll get more desperate. Yes, it'll get more draconian. And perhaps that hastens how fast it finally demises. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But no, there's no question. They are getting really panicky.